Choo choo! There goes the train. What's poppin', people? It's Dante, filming with the GoPro Mini, 1080p, 30 FPS, exporting to 720p for that crispy HD, small file size quality. And yeah, I'm just getting my day started off here on the Schuylkill River Trail in the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection here in Philly. Chilly Philly, got my hood up, got the coat on. It's cold this morning, 35 Fahrenheit, something like that. The water's moving quickly today. We had some rains, it's a bit windy. You know, I think as people, we often seek novelty, right? We're always looking for something new. We're always looking for a new experience, a new thing, whether it's that new car that you want to purchase, that new movie that just came out, that new place to visit. You know, this idea of novelty has been on my mind recently as I walk this sort of similar path each day. And, you know, perhaps it's wise to find novelty within the mundane and to sort of find joy in that, right? Where you don't need to really go too far to find novel experiences, where every day is anew. You know, every day is anew. And through that sort of recognition, when you wake up in the morning, sort of, yeah, eyes wide open, you can perhaps find the simplest joys and pleasures in watching the log come down the stream, right? Like, this is entertainment. You know, where oftentimes we seek novelty through, you know, watching the latest Netflix series, right? But perhaps the outdoors, the real life, the physical flesh is the supreme sort of television set, using your eyes, right? I remember as a child, I used to watch Teletubbies. They had TVs on their freaking stomachs, man. That show was weird. Yeah, so maybe that's why I'm weird to this day. 'Cause I watched Teletubbies when I was a child. Yeah, novelty, seeking new experiences, Netflix. Yeah, what is it? I think as you get older, it seems like you know, maybe your creativity dwindles over the years. As you become an adult, you sort of become a little bit more boring, a little bit less interested in life itself. So you become more of a bystander, perhaps, and indulge in the TV, indulge in the latest movies, the celebrity gossip, and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of just something I've recognized. And I think, you know, the antidote to this sort of consumption is production, and to always be creating new photographs, right? So as a photographer, perhaps the ultimate goal is to simply be in the state of production. Yeah, and how to achieve this state? Simply find novelty within the mundane, right? Where you find everyday life to be the most exciting. This is something powerful. I think this is a superpower, to sort of find this interest and fuel your lust for life with mundane things. You know, this is something critical. Wow, so like, one of the things I've been doing is picking off the leaves from the tree here over the past month, and now I'm noticing that the leaves have completely shifted into these like helicopter. Like, I remember as a kid, you would throw these up and they kind of like fly around like a helicopter. Yeah, so they changed completely. So today I'm looking at a completely new thing, right? Novelty. It's interesting. I remember those though. You could like throw them up in the air, those little leaves, and they would like twirl around like a helicopter. You know, one thing I think is wise is to not do anything stupid. Like, probably, you know, the more I think about helicopters, I'm like, this seems pretty rudimentary. Like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a wise idea to go in a helicopter and take a helicopter ride. Seems pretty dangerous. I mean, it's good to take risks, but maybe some risks aren't worth taking. You know, helicopter rides being one of them in my mind, to be honest with you. What else? Yeah, like skydiving, bungee jumping, cliff diving into the water. Like, a lot of things are actually really, you know, these like sort of novel experiences that we seek for thrill and entertainment. Yeah, I'd rather just throw the little leaf up, and that's my little helicopter ride. But I mean, to take risks is I believe where the interesting sort of things happen in life. So, you know, by following your sort of curiosity and fueling yourself with courage and taking risks, yeah, perhaps this is the ultimate way to experience new things. But alas, yeah, to be sort of wise about what you do, yeah, and not do anything stupid. Yeah. What else? Merge with the machine, right? Merge with the machine. This notion is interesting to me. Where, I mean, perhaps humans are like, we're already cyborgs, right? We're already cyborgs. We have the phone, the iPad, whatever, the AirPods, all these sort of things that are sort of, you know, already on us, like in our pockets at all times. And, you know, the only thing that's stopping us from like physically merging with the machine, it's just really just the bandwidth and sort of lag between you pulling out the device and then interacting with the interface. Something I've been thinking about. And I mean, really, it's as if we've evolved as a species times 1,000 within the past few decades since the advent of the internet. But the more that I believe, or the more that I ponder the internet, right, and the use of it, you know, I try to look at the upsides for everything. You know, there are many upsides to the internet itself, but yeah, perhaps actually there's more downsides to upsides. You know, just considering all the advertisements, the sponsorship pop-ups, the distractions and sort of conspiracy theories, rabbit holes, podcasts, YouTubes, Facebooks, Instagrams, pornography, like everything on the internet is quite overwhelming. And if you think about it, if you give a child an iPad, it's like giving them crack. You know, I see a lot of kids being raised with like iPads in their laps when I go around like the Christmas village in the city where there's lots of families, and you know, there's such a beautiful atmosphere, ice rink, things for children, but yeah, they're just kind of like glued to an iPad in their lap, and it's unsettling, it's uncanny. Merging with the machine at that age, yeah, you might as well just give them crack. Yeah, all this stuff maybe is bad. Because of my recent adventure using ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, I feel as though you can sort of cut through all of the distractions with a knife and get to the source of what you're interested in actually without going down all these rabbit holes. It's a very efficient tool, and it's certainly the future. So, you know, merge with the machine, merge with ChatGPT. I think everyone should download ChatGPT and try it out for themselves. I really enjoy using it to visualize things. Any sort of creative ideas I have come to mind, bada bing, bada boom, you type it in. Or for me, what I like to do is, if you click the little microphone at the bottom right hand corner of your keyboard on the iPad, iPhone, you can just speak and voice dictate to the phone itself to then have a conversation with the chatbot, or have your sort of words be sort of written out onto the page itself. So this morning I sort of woke up early for 4:20, bro. I woke up at 4:20. I did a little bit of writing for 40 minutes, getting my morning started, and I was just basically voice dictating to the iPad itself. Yeah, just to sort of get my juices flowing in the morning, you know, the brain juices. Drank some espresso, I think is a good thing too, and did my exercise. My exercise routine is really simple: push-ups, pull-ups, yoga, sometimes deadlift. I like the pigeon pose, downward dog, upward dog, sphinx pose, all these sort of like basic things that sort of get you going. And yeah, I just like to get the day started off bright and early, always catch the sunrise, and basically throw myself right outside. Yeah, I think this is the best way to start the morning, with a nice hike. I like walking this way because I get this path with all the sort of natural trees, fresh air, and then I walk to an elevated surface to fuel myself with power in the beginning of the day. So yeah, I have this sort of mode of operating in the days now where it makes me It makes me feel good. And I find novelty, I find this sort of ordinary path, this ordinary routine to be so exciting each day, where I wake up eyes wide open, just always curious about what I will find. Look at this medieval weaponry. Hey, look, it's Christmas coming up. What's that movie, Home Alone? Let's set some booby traps. No robbers are gonna get down this path. Hopefully no one's walking barefoot. I'm gonna spike you. Yeah, thinking of movies, actually, I was thinking about earliest movies I've watched. You know, the first one I remember was The Goonies, 80s movie, coming of age, sort of child's, sort of a youth story kind of thing, adventure story. The other one was A Bug's Life, I believe made in 1998, A Bug's Life, Pixar film, fully CGI animated film. I freaking love that movie, and I remember playing the video game for the PlayStation. There's something about the actual story, now that I went back and was like watching trailers for it and clips of it, that intrigued me. You know, I typed in ChatGPT, you know, what is the sort of storyline of this, you know, what is the basic summary and plot of A Bug's Life? And essentially Flick is, you know, it's about an ant colony that is oppressed by a group of grasshoppers, and the grasshoppers are basically dependent upon the ants for them to deliver them food. And you know, ants, there's millions of ants in a colony. They all sort of just work together, and they're all sort of working as one. But there was one particular ant named Flick, and Flick is a very creative, innovative sort of inventor, basically an artist within the colony. And he stands out like a sore thumb. He had lots of inventions and ideas for how to speed up the process of, you know, delivering the food, and he would always be creating things. And he was sent off on a journey to collect warrior bugs from the town over. He went out looking for a bunch of bigger bugs to then fight against the grasshoppers and to sort of become independent as a colony. And I found the story itself to be actually very inspiring and uplifting when I read about this, and I feel like I am Flick, right? Like the ultimate Spartan bug, the ultimate ant in the ant colony. I actually really love those sort of moments where you go back and you think of like an old movie you watched when you were a kid, and then you kind of dig deeper into the meaning of it all. It's quite interesting. I mean, I haven't really watched many movies in my life, really. I mean, so it's like when I think of them, it's like, what did I watch when I was a kid? You know, and how has that influenced me now today when I think back on it? I actually find that to be intriguing. Yeah, Flick. Be like Flick. You know? Yeah. And, you know, cycling, I'm watching all these cyclists go by, is one of these great hobbies, right? To find things that bring you joy outside of your main sort of passion. Like for me, photography, obviously. But having photography and biking, and then combining all these different hobbies together, man, it's so enjoyable to actually go out and do things and like kill two birds with one stone, where I can go on a bike ride, film with my GoPro, enjoy the sort of change of scenery by transporting myself down the river trail, and hop off the bike, make pictures. You know, there's something about it that is just so enjoyable. I mean, it's a little bit more challenging with the winter months because it's so freaking cold when you ride your bike. I think I need to get my bigger gloves out when I bike because my hands freeze up. But I think if I just fix the glove problem for biking, I'll be okay. But the biking thing, I mean, man, it's so amazing. And I don't know what it is, but every time I walk towards this trail, and I walk towards the water, I walk towards the riversides, whether it's Penn's Landing, Schuylkill River, behind the art museum, there's like this instinctual feeling that I get in my gut, and it just feels right. You know, I think that's something that you should follow, right? Your intuition, your gut feeling for things, you know, to sort of just follow your desires to go where you want and to do what you want, I think is a good sort of notion to think about. And yeah, been thinking of the idea of the Archimedes lever, you know, position me somewhere on the fulcrum point. What is it, like Archimedes lever, like he was a mathematician, position me somewhere on the fulcrum, on the point of a lever, and I can move the whole world. That's kind of how I feel when I go up to the top of this little hill I hike each day, and I look over towards Philadelphia. It's like, can I just move the city up into the sky? Can we touch the sky? Is this possible? You know, to dream the impossible perhaps is wise. I actually think you have to be a little bit naive, a little bit optimistic. You know, being realistic. Yeah, I find this to be actually quite boring. You know, considering street photography actually as this sort of blend between documentary and surrealism, where it's an artistic approach to the medium. You know, what you see isn't what you get is what you didn't see. You know, I'm interested in this notion where a lot of the times when you make a photograph of something, what's revealed to you in the photograph when you review it, it's oftentimes not what you actually saw in real life. There'll be lots of details and lots of things that will reveal itself to you through the medium and the power of photography. And perhaps this sort of novelty and this experience of reviewing the photographs themselves is something to consider, right? Where we're curious about the results, right? What will reality manifest to be in a photograph? This question alone should fuel you with curiosity. And yeah, so just remember that photography is art, and to treat it as such. To sort of go beyond basic notions of what makes a good or bad photograph, right? There's really no such thing. And actually to photograph a little bit more carelessly, where you do just follow your instincts, your intuition, you know, allow the chips to fall as they may. Yeah, I think basic ideas of what makes a successful composition aren't interesting to me anymore. I'm more interested in the sort of spontaneity, serendipity, sort of looking at things anew each day. Currently looking at the reflection of the skyline through this through the back of this car. Ooh, I just got an error. Unable to store image. I think because I pulled out the camera and I started making pictures too quickly. Sometimes the Ricoh can be finicky. But yeah, actually just looking at the world in a unique way each day, right? Where, you know, how many different ways can you photograph your skyline? It's just a fun thing. Yeah, look at reflections, look at textures, look at different things around you in a new way. And you know, maybe a good sort of assignment is find something that you can photograph each day, but try to photograph it anew, right? Like the skyline being one of them, and City Hall being one of them. And that's kind of where I want to tie in this notion of novelty, where really the most mundane thing that you see every day can become anew. So yeah, just consider that. And perhaps it's a good practice for your sort of daily routine with the camera, you know, to always just have the camera on you, and to yeah, just sort of have fun with it, basically, at the end of the day. Paths and pavilions. When is this pavilion going to open up, and why is it closed? Not really too sure. Who knows? Ugh. It's been closed for quite some time. Maybe it has to be reconstructed or something. Who knows? Leaves. I'm gonna force them to fall. Beautiful colors, beautiful reflections, the waterfall roaring, architecture, gazebo, art museum, skyline, smokestacks. Yeah, this is a great way to start the day. You know, you can walk the same lane every single day and find something to uplift. Through the power of photography, it lies in the fact that with your sharp visual acuity, you know, you can uplift anything and champion mankind and basically find beauty in these mundane sort of everyday moments, fueling your lust for life and allowing everyday experiences to be novel. How to fuel your lust for life? Recognize that mundane things can become novel experiences.